All right, it's time to bring you the headlines across newspapers in Nigeria today. We have joining us from the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere. Dr. Ekere, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
nice
and thanks for
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin with the Daily Trust this morning. APC, Adamawa, Enugu, Kwara governorship primaries hold today. The election panel cancels exercise in Zamfara over violence. Ambode accepts defeat, pledges to work for Sanwo-Olu. It's getting really interesting. In some states, there are parallel primary elections in some of the parties, and then confusion in others, and all of that.
Yeah, but it's expected at a time like this. You know, it's all about interest, you know. And the challenge there is that the interest might not be the interest of the public. So, so you will always find.
I wonder whose interest it should be then.
Is the contestants' interest, and perhaps those who are pushing them. You know, but I think one interesting aspect of it is Ambode's, you know, resolve to support Sanwo-Olu. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even have an option because should he choose to leave the party, I don't think that would be the best game for him. So he just have to.
You know, some say the same reason why he didn't get the return ticket is the same reason why he has stayed put with the party, the fact that he's not a politician. This is not how the average Nigerian politician behaves. The moment they lose the opportunity to return, they just jump ship to another party.
At best, he might not be a desperate politician, but he's a politician. There's no choice about that, you know, except that he has not mastered the skills. You know, there's a superior, there seems to be a superior, and that was why he was came out of it. Yeah.
Okay, dust as more candidates emerge for Senate. Yeah, and that is still talking about some of the issues following the fallout from primary elections. No cause for alarm over dwindling foreign reserves. The CBN is giving assurance to Nigerians because the point there is that the foreign reserve has been going down, but we keep making more. The international price of crude oil has been rising. So there's just this paradox of irony.
I don't know how you see this. You know, you seem to be making more income. You are not investing.
And your savings going down.
You are not saving. And you say people should not worry. I think there's reason to worry. You know, if we are making more money, every time they say that we should save more money or we should invest more in projects. I don't think we've invested more than usual in projects.
So where all the money is going to?
That is a question we should be asking. So because for CBN to tell us not to worry.
Yeah, the budget for this year was predicated at $54
and now you have more than
now
that.
We have more than $8. Now the
so
price of
I
crude
expect
oil,
that there should be excess crude account should be rising.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what Nigerians expect.
And that will equally manifest in our foreign reserves. So if that is not happening, you're telling us not to worry. For me, I
maybe it is and we don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
Or maybe they're using it to defend the naira, as he has always been. But one way or the other, the naira has been stable though, but relatively, marginally has been falling a little. Okay, like today now, the price of the naira is about 359 naira to a dollar on the parallel market.
Oh, well.
Okay. Let's move on now. Missing General Army Cordons of Community arrest scores. This is in Jos South in Plateau State.
Plateau State, yeah.
Really sad situation.
I really don't understand what is going on there. You know, trying to bail a lake or something and
a pond.
They now found
cars.
Not even a car. Cars. So what is happening? Is it that it's a normal road? I didn't see any bridge on top of that, you know, pond. That maybe in the course of plying that road, the vehicle now. I really don't understand what is going on. I think they need to tell us more.
Well, the investigations are on from the reports we're getting from Plateau State, so we'll get to know what really is behind all of this. Buhari phones Leah Sharibu's mother, says, "I'll do my best." This is what Nigerians have been saying all the while.
I think that's quite
Let there be an engagement with the parents and all of that.
It's quite reassuring.
This is a good one.
The mere fact that the president actually reached out to the parents would give them some form of confidence, you know, and it will he heightened that confidence that our daughter will be back. And I think that equally speaks well for the country. You know, but we want to see beyond, you know, calls, and let's see how they speed up the process of bringing back this girl.
You know, there are some who would say that Leah Sharibu is just a symbolic name. you know, for many nameless, you know, children who are out there
Certainly.
In captivity.
in captivity.
Certainly.
And something really
That's
has to
true.
be done. Let's turn our attention to the front page of The Nation very quickly. I won't take mandate for granted, says Sanwo-Olu. Ambode concedes defeat as panel announces result. A lot of talk is on about the implication of this dramatic change on the forthcoming election in a state where the opposition has a say.
My only worry is that, you know, when PDP was on board, they never thought anything could happen to them. And eventually when APC came in, the expectation was so high. But unfortunately, I am not sure that that expectation has been met. The same thing could happen in this scenario. I pray it doesn't happen, that because the stakes are higher. You know, someone coming on board here is acceptable, but then will he live up to expectation is another thing. So that I want to see a situation where, you know, he exceeds, you know, whatever has been done, so that this particular cane that is flogging Ambode now does not flog him in due course.
It's arguable whether successive governors in Lagos have done better than their predecessors. Some would say that security in Lagos State arguably is one of the safest in the country.
Yeah, you see,
an improvement on what
no,
was
there is
before.
always you will always judge things in that manner where you have not been touched. If any of the insecurity challenges has happened to you, you will say that even Lagos is not safe.
It's not safe.
So,
I think I agree with you.
All right. On the front page of The Nation, I will run a people-friendly government. The focus of my administration will be the welfare of the state, and that's the Osun Governor-elect Isiaka Gboyega Oyetola displaying a certificate of return as governor-elect at the INEC state headquarters. It was a keenly contested election for both the APC and PDP. Do you think that this really would help the quality of governance in this new dispensation?
The Osun election is something I ordinarily would not have wanted to comment on, because my first worry was that I never got any information that there was any specific ward or unit where election did not take place in Osun State. All right? And I do know that each time WAEC cancels the result, they don't reorganize the election, the exam. So the case of Osun, I don't know where the rerun took place, whether the cancelled votes were revived, whether election was suspended in some wards. So I think the court should decide that. But with respect to the man in question, whether he's going to live up to expectation, it's only time that will tell us. You know, so let's.
I'm just saying that the beauty of having keenly contested
no, it's always a good
the fact
idea.
that it dawns on the politician that the people are watching, and an election here they have a say. So every step they take, every policy they make now has to count.
People are watching. People are watching, and they take everything into account, and your performance, like I said, will determine. So if you take people for a ride that maybe in the past you can just impose anybody, I think the signals are getting clearer now that you need to do better than that for you to retain your office.
Your mandate.
Yes.
There are other stories on the front page of The Nation. The Nation TVC Summit. Experts set to discuss headers farmers clashes. Oil prices inches near $90. And there's been battle of words between Putin and Donald Trump. The Russian president is saying that Trump is responsible for the increase in oil price, his stance on Iran, Venezuela, and
let it continue to be responsible.
hopefully we'll take advantage of
we want the increase.
Fury tears Joshua apart, Buhari to name campaign team, and ex-president sons freed.
Yeah, okay. Let's move to the Punch newspaper now. Ambode accepted defeat to avert impeachment. Sources revealing that, well, you get all of these stories from all over the place.
Exactly.
Well, Governor congratulates Sanwo-Olu, pledges commitment to Lagos development. Okay, we've talked about that before. Primaries, President meets Rufai Akeredolu, that's the governor of Kaduna and Ondo State, respectively. The federal government denies tuition hike, says Education Bank underway. Now you have to talk to us about this, because the point there is there was on the papers yesterday we reviewed
350,000 naira.
350,000, where it was being alleged that there was going to be hike in school fees and all. In fact, after the review we did yesterday, there was some kind of buzz on social media yesterday, you know, people misunderstanding the fact that, oh, there's going to be hike, but we're just reviewing the papers. So let us know what is really going on.
Well, for now, I'm not aware of any hike.
Okay.
I think the fees are still the same. All right. But
What are the fees currently?
No, there's nothing like a fixed, you know, amount of.
Price. Okay.
There's
Well,
no,
they're up to 350,000 naira.
I wouldn't know, you know. I only know of my own university, and I know that the University of Lagos is about the cheapest in the country. Okay. You know, there's usually this fear about Unilag. When you hear the name, you think that you must be a multimillionaire to be there. It's not true, really. It's about the cheapest. You know, except you are doing programs that are, you know, outside the normal, you know, regular programs.
Like which one?
If you are thinking of MBA, for instance, and all those ones, obviously
they must be ready to pay through your nose. Is that what
you
you're
don't
saying?
need to. You only take it from your pocket and you pay. All right. So for now, it's only the Ministry of Education that can actually tell us what this hike is about, if there's going to be any. You know, I do not think that there has been such a policy at the University of Lagos. I doubt if it's coming from any other university, apart from the private university that we know. You know, because sometimes people tend to look at it from the angle that what a student pays in any of these private universities is actually the right fee. You know, so you can see that what it means is that government is actually taking care of, you know, the remaining part of it. I know at the University of Lagos you don't pay more than 15,000 thereabouts. You know, it's about 15,000, you know, and that covers so many things, you know, tuition or whatever name they call it, but I know it's spread on different issues.
Interestingly, they say that in every rumor there's an iota of truth.
Yeah.
You know, we had an analyst yesterday who was of the opinion that to get the kind of quality education, globally recognized quality,
yes,
we might have to pay more. But then the question still lies, how do people afford that kind of amount of money?
Well, you see, what it means, I've just made the point that it has been said that if truly we were to run our education system on the basis of, you know, that kind of arrangement you are looking at, what students pay at this private university would ordinarily have been the right
standard.
Yes. You know, but the government is coming in this instance, you know, subsidizing education, you know. But all we should be talking about is to, you know, begin to demand more funding. And I want to believe that the federal government, the state governments can actually fund education if they are
even
committed
the private
to it.
sector.
Yes,
We've
if they are
seen
committed
private
to
sector.
it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
a lot of times you discover that those who, you know, hold these offices, each time they get out of it, they will be rich enough to even fund the state. And it's not as if they did some businesses outside, which means that it is a kind of loopholes that have been created in government that makes funding difficult for all these, you know, facilities. You find an individual taking the entire resources of a state and all of that, and at the end of the day, you say you can't pay salaries, you can't fund education, and those are the challenges. So all we should demand is good governance. Once we get that, I'm telling you, funding will not be a major challenge.
Okay. Buhari calls Leah Sharibu's mother, promises daughter safe return. We've talked about that. World Bank cuts Nigeria others growth forecast to 2.7%. All right. And then Ajimobi wins Oyo South senatorial ticket. And Osun poll, party is alleged compromised by INEC. I'll resign if found culpable, as a resident electoral commissioner is saying that for Osun State. And father rapes impregnates 13-year-old daughter in Edo State. It's really a sad situation.
Really sad.
We often hear this kind of stories from different places and so on. And toddler, 4 others killed in Ondo crash. Really sad headline there. And man allegedly conspires with friends to rob wife. Okay. Stories out there.
Sometimes you wonder if the stories are true.
You get it? It's shocking.
Very unimaginable things happen sometimes.
Maybe the wife has been holding some money.
Are they really married? Do they have children?
Maybe until one gets the details of that story, and then, okay, that's the Punch newspaper.
On the front page of the New Telegraph this morning, Delta boys over primaries. Policeman kills 2 students. 4 party members hospitalized. Gun duel as police detain PDP lawmaker for ballot snatching. APC produces 2 governorship candidates in Ogun. Osinbajo, Shomole behind a crisis, says ex-minister. They say that the true test of democracy is what happens within the party. I mean, if people are going to be this brutal, you know, for a primary, then what does that tell us about the democracy we run and the nature of our politicians.
That is the kind of politics we play, you know. You find a situation of do or die scenario in almost all the, you know, so that will give you an idea of what each politician is coming on board to do. Is it about service? Because if truly it's all about service, you get this desperate. If I want to serve you, you say, no, I don't want you to serve me. Why should I kill myself? You know, so you can see clearly. But I think we need to deepen democracy. And one sure way of doing it is to ensure that the parties actually embrace those tenets that would deepen democracy. But that's not what we are saying. And I think it's quite challenging. But I don't expect...
It's a topic we're going to talk about later on. So maybe let's just move on and reserve everything for that time, maybe.
Drama as Ambode concedes defeat, bows to Tinubu, congratulates Sanwo-Olu. APC makes U-turn. The Godfather had his way. Plateau, again, headers kill 14 in fresh attack. Chief of Army Staff, elders, elite behind violence. And then we have the STF arrests 72, parades 27. Okay, World Bank cuts Nigeria's 2018 growth forecast to 1.9%. The cries headers farmers' crisis frets over regions' rising debt. It's a looming... how exactly did we get ourselves here as a nation?
Well, it's all about governance. Governance is the whole thing, because the fish begins to rot from the head. Once the head is right, the chances that the body will be right are very high. You see, so once we get it right from the point of view of governance, a lot of these issues will naturally be sorted out. You know, but when you find a situation whereby even those who are, you know, at the point of position of leadership are behind some of these things, then you begin to find these things, you know, they find the embers of violence. You know, so I think that's what's really happening.
Okay, let's move to the Vanguard newspaper now. Lagos APC primaries, intrigues that made Ambode concede. Okay. Ebri National Working Committee panel boss under pressure from Ambode, Lagos APC ESCO. Ebri first cancels primaries, recants 12 hours after, and Oshomole wades in, redefines Ebri's duties in Lagos. Tension drops as Ambode concedes to Sanwo-Olu, and life returns to Alausa after governor's concession, and Tinubu holding court to navigate fallout of spat with Ambode. That's multiple riders there. Ebri is was a former governor of Cross River State, and he was the chairman of the committee that conducted the primary election in Lagos State. No plan to hike tuition fees in universities. The federal government is saying that. I guess this gives some level of relief. Relief, exactly, to everyone.
People can take that to the bank.
Well, yeah, of course. If the federal government says it, you can take it to the bank. 13 killed in fresh Plateau attack. It's really sad how things are turning in Plateau in the last couple of weeks.
Honestly, I find it difficult to understand what the challenges really are. You know, I think this is going beyond the herdsmen and farmers' clashes, because you find a scenario where a general is missing, only to find a car in a pond, and all manner of things. So,
investigation will reveal a lot.
Investigation actually reveal what is going on.
Exactly. And Buhari Obaseki clerics mourn as Alile Pioneer, DG of NSE, that's the Nigerian Stock Exchange, dies at 80. He's going to be missed. A CBN explains reduction in foreign reserves, says it has nothing to do with politics. Okay. And APC primaries, Buhari moves to douse tension in Ondo, Ogun, others. All right. Well, those are some of the headlines on the Vanguard.
And finally here I have this day. Ambode surrenders, concedes defeat, congratulates Sanwo-Olu. Candidate thanks Governor. Tinubu says integrity would be his watchword. Buhari calls Leah Sharibu's mother, pledges to rescue her daughter. 13 killed in fresh gunman attack on Plateau village. World Bank cuts Nigeria's growth projection to 1.9% as CBN allays concerns over declining reserves. But there's
I guess the figures from the projection cut there. Right. It's the same thing with the other paper, but I think Another paper here said 2.7%.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But there's an interesting story on page 10 of this day. Federal government revives $2.5 billion solar power projects. Extends deadline for agreement. Some would have said that solar energy would have been, a viable alternative for power supply in this part of the world, given the way the sun shines on us.
And even if you go to Adamawa State, for instance, Adamawa, Yobe, Borno State, Taraba State, Bauchi, the sun it's like the sun is brought down a little more than any other place in the world.
But it's like we haven't taken advantage of it.
We have that kind of, weather conditions many parts of the country. When it is sunny, it's over sunny. When it is
when it is raining,
you get it.
The rain
so all we need is to take advantage of every circumstance, because we can actually harness a lot of these natural, resources and make life better. Both hydro, gas, and we have practically all of them. Whether it's the technology that is missing, whether it's the political will, I really don't get it.
One would say it's more of the political will. Because when it comes to technical, we have
countries
the skills.
Especially when you consider the multi-billion-dollar industry we have, selling generators, repairs and maintains. And you will know that it would take a big blow to bring it down and make power work in this part of the world.
No, but I think that can be dealt with if the will is there. I don't see anything so serious about generator dealers and the rest of it. It's something that can be taken care of. I think the government should summon greater courage to deal with these issues.
Is that all? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Danekere, for joining us on the paper review board. We're keeping you for the next discussion.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Let's take a breather and we come